Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we are going to look at today is how insurance for gun owners is really starting to spread amongst the liberal bastions, almost like an infectious disease, kind of like they say violence is. Yeah, that. Only one little tiny problem with that, and we're about to break it down right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are distributing freedom 2 and 3 times daily, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. And the content today is brought to you by Arrowhead Tactical. Now, this is a new sponsor who packages a perfect EDC solution while still offering premium athletic wear. We are talking about athletic, comfortable wear that you can work out in or relax in, but still reliably carry your favorite concealed carry option on your day-to-day. Now, you're talking about your favorite holster, your favorite carry piece, and you talk about innovation. We're about to dive into it right now. Check this out. They have included a concealed inner belt in an apparel, which leads to an extremely secure and reliable holster retention and effective drawing and reholstering. Not only could you carry a gun with your athletic gear, you can now carry different handguns, especially larger handguns, in different holsters and positions. There are lots of styles to choose from. There's something for everybody and for every style of carry, and they are linked right down there in the description box, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments right down there and check them out. Thank you so much to them, but now, my brothers and sisters, we've got to get into the shenanigan that is spreading like a virus. The whole insurance plans for gun owners. Now, this is coming out of Maryland. This might sound familiar because originally it happened in San Jose, California. I believe it was 2 years ago. It's been litigated. It's going through the court systems. It's never really been implemented, but now it's spreading to Maryland. Now, listen to some of the nuance here, but before I get to that, I want to highlight something really important. If you are new to the gun world, if you have just never really been involved in the gun rights fight, understand what's happening right now. You are looking at liberal, anti-gun politicians putting premiums and expenses between you and your rights. Imagine this exact same thing with your freedom of speech. They're equal. 1, 2, that's the only difference. You got the freedom of speech, you got your bearing arms. But the whole point here is they are putting a responsibility to have an ongoing payment for your rights. This is something that the left does in perpetuity in their bastions. You have to pay for your fingerprinting. You have to pay for your concealed carry license. You have to renew it. You have to pay for your training. All of these things are meant to dissuade you away from your rights that are yours by them putting fees in front of you. It is literally denial of rights by pricing you out. Okay, that's why this is so disgusting and why I hit it so hard. But let's get into this. Let me show you what they're doing in Maryland, and then let me show you why the police are cranky pants about it. Maryland bill would force gun owners to get $300,000 liability insurance to wear or carry. So if you want to have a gun and you want to carry it for your own safety, you got to carry a $300,000 liability. That's more than most car insurance. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's look what they're doing in Annapolis. Maryland House Democrats introduced a controversial gun safety bill requiring gun owners to forfeit their ability to wear or carry without firearm liability insurance. Now, this is introduced by Delegate Terry Hill, Democrat, Howard County. The legislation would prohibit the wear or carry of a gun anywhere in the state unless the individual has obtained a liability insurance policy of at least $300,000. Now, San Jose, where this inspiration came from, was the city. This is an entire state, okay? All of Maryland. Here are some quotes for you. Quote, this is from the actual bill. A person may not wear or carry a firearm unless the person has obtained it and it covered by liability insurance issued by an insurer authorized to do business in the state under the insurance article to cover claims for property damage, bodily injury, or death arising from an accident resulting from the person's use or storage of a firearm, up to $300,000 for damages arising from the same incident, in addition to interest and cost, the proposed Maryland legislation reads. So, again, keep in mind, that's going to have a monthly premium. That is putting a premium requirement through your rights. It's very similar to, I don't know, like a poll tax. You want to vote? You got to pay the poll tax. Oh, that's not cool? You got to be a landowner. Oh, getting more uncool? Yeah, you got to be a white guy. All not good. This is equal to that. Just saying. You guys can let me know if you agree or disagree. I openly expect you all to align, to be honest. But, someone might disagree. Let's keep going. Let's look at what happens, and if the gun's unloaded, you're okay, and police are about to make a presence too. Check this out. According to the proposed law, the liability insurance requirement does not apply to members of the military or federal law enforcement officers. There's also an insurance exemption if a gun is unloaded. So if you carry a gun around that is unloaded, you don't have to have liability insurance. But if you put freedom seeds in it, you got to have liability insurance. Okay, so here's a question. If the gun itself is unloaded, but you have a magazine somewhere else on your person, maybe like in another pocket, does that mean you have to be liability covered? Or does that mean it has to be in the gun? Does it be loaded, unloaded? Where's the stupid stop? But listen to this part. This is where the cops come in. As the bill is currently written, local and state law enforcement officers are not exempt from the insurance requirement. So the feds are, and the military is, but the local cops aren't, which is, of course, very upsetting to the local cops because the rules shouldn't have to apply to them. They should be exempted, which brings a very problematic issue up of the population has to abide by these rules, but the military, the police don't. Does that seem fair to anybody else? Anyway, let's keep going. While supporting overall gun regulations, Largo-based criminal defense attorney Vernon Brownlee said to Fox 45 News he believes this bill may hold law enforcement officers accountable. Listen to this. This legislation aims to enhance accountability among police officers, particularly addressing the disproportionate impact of their misuse of deadly force on the black community, Brownlee said. In essence, the legislation introduces a mechanism whereby repeated violations of the statute could lead insurance carriers to consider an officer a liability, rendering them uninsurable. Translation. In this scenario, police officers either get their insurance or they don't, and if the insurance company decides that they are too much of a risk, they can't carry on the job, which means they are relegated to desk duty. How's this going to work out? This is the point. When you let the virtue signal get in the way of your common sense, this is the type of stuff that you get to. Oh, yeah, the police department gets sued by the criminals a whole lot, so we just can't insure the entire police department, so no guns for them. Well, wouldn't you know it? The criminals still have guns, but the police don't. And then at the same time, you can't have guns either unless you have a liability, but the criminals, doesn't matter. You understand? Do you see how foolish this is? Anyway, I got one more thing for you. And this right here is when it's very upsetting to the police officers. Very, very upsetting. It's not about the population or the rights of the people who live in Maryland. No. The police officers need that exemption too. So, speaking to Fox 45 News over the phone, Maryland Fraternal Order of Police President Clyde Boatwright stressed the importance of making sure state and local law enforcement have the same protections as federal officers. Well, if they get it, we want it, but the population can't have it. No, that's too far. That's a bridge too far. But the feds got it, we want it. It's so gross. Anyway, in conclusion, quote, "We would appreciate if our Maryland law enforcement officers received the same rights as federal officers," Boatwright said. "If our federal partners are exempt, state and local officers should be afforded that same right." Hey, quick question. Why are you saying we should have the same right as police? Why shouldn't you be saying everyone should have the right to be exempt from this because it's unconstitutional as is possible? This is part of the problem. The police are not saying this is unconstitutional, we shouldn't be doing this. No, they're saying I'm fine with it being unconstitutional, but if the feds don't have to pay for it, we shouldn't either. The corruption, just the gross feeling of this is really something to behold. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.